I think Utah knows that they have the talent and the team to be a playoff team this year, but they're trying to just keep that chatter down, keep the expectations down. It's a young team, but they're good, man.
That's our first getting into winners and losers presented by Discover here. Utah is our first winner. And let's add the owner here. Like I like the whole thing that you're saying there about, hey, let's over-deliver, let's not over-promise. Mm-hmm. I get that. But at the same time, you have an owner that's like, I really feel like, hey, if we're in a good spot, we're going to spend at the trade deadline and we're going to make this team competitive. Like, I really feel like this guy's committed to winning now. And it's a good vibe to have, man. Like, it's good to have those kind of people in the league. I know I said this last show, but, like, you can see it already. Like, you can see how excited the fans are.
I find Ryan Smith, the owner of the Utah Hockey Club. By the way, have we decided if we're going UHC as a abbreviation?
Utah.
Because
nope.
I was watching.
We're not doing UHC.
I was watching the Devils game when they played Utah, and the announcers were referring to them as the hockey club, as if you would refer to like the Devils or the Rangers.
Dano, we love you, buddy.
Good play there by the hockey club. I find Ryan Smith to be aspirational because I want to be rich enough one day where I can A, buy my own hockey team, and B, wear my hat backwards and no one cares that I'm too old to do that. I think it's wonderful. He has real hello, fellow young people vibes sometimes with how he has the hat, but it's a good thing to aspire to, I think, in life.
He has I don't care money, right? Oh, by the way.
Nice PG.
Yeah. Right? We're a PG show, all right? You know where I was going
I don't
with
care
that.
money, as we all say.
Yeah, I don't care, as everyone says. How you do, fellow kids, as I carry my skateboard. Shout out, by the way, I also just found out, before we move on from Utah, the Utah Jazz Bear, the mascot, apparently will be doing both the Jazz and Utah Hockey Club games this season. Mm-hmm. So he's the Bear is going to be pulling double duty, and I think that's great.
Yeah, until the Yeti shows up, right?
And there should be a whole like scripted thing where they have a match, and it's a respectful
pinfall. Maybe the bear goes into a cocoon and emerges as the Yeti. I don't know. I don't really know a lot about biology.
That does not sound like it's what happened at all. Loser, not one that we might have expected, or maybe based on last season performance.
Edmonton Oilers are off to a stumbly start. 0-3 in their first 3 games, including a loss in the Battle of Alberta to the Calgary Flames. It's not so much the 0-3 start that's got me, Arda. It's the -12 in goal differential, which you'd think would be like, oh, they've scored 10 and given up 22. No, it's actually they've only scored like 3 goals this year. Really slow start for Zach Hyman. Really slow start for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Not the best start for Leon Draisaitl. Vibes similar to last season of, is this thing going to spiral? Are we looking at another 2-9-1 start? If so, do you bring back Jay Woodcroft? Do you boomerang back to the guy that you sacrificed for the bad start? Bring him back to save the team? Probably not, but it's something that's a little bit of a stumble off the top. But again, you look what the Oilers did last year. They're used to this by now.
Now, I'm going to go non-PG here, okay, since you called me out earlier.
Okay.
Connor McDavid is probably saying, dig the heck in right now.
Or weeping in the locker room. One of the two.
One of the two. By the way, not enough ketchup costumes and ketchup packets in the audiences for Connor McDavid.
I really thought the Amazon show was going to be in the zeitgeist more, and I really thought that Connor McDavid is afraid of ketchup would become something that became synonymous with him wherever he goes, but I don't think it quite caught on as much as I thought.
Not quite yet, at least yet, but hopefully maybe we'll make it a thing.
He's getting ready for a shootout attempt, and people are just waving packets of bottles of Heinz.
Yes, that's what we need.
I know.
We need like 4 people dressed up in ketchup costumes right at the glass.
You need the creativity and the antagonism of an NBA or college basketball crowd on a free throw when Connor is got the puck.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about the Olds? They're doing great.
Old men in the middle. Not this podcast, but Evgeni Malkin and Anže Kopitar. Malkin, 38 years old, has a goal and 6 assists to start the season. Anže Kopitar, 37 years old, 3 goals, 3 assists. Now, their teams have a combined record of 3-2-2. That's not great. But again, what joy is it to see these 2 guys still doing their thing? Malkin was a guy who was left off the top 100 players last season. He's back on this season. But again, he's somebody who I think we take for granted. You know, all the joy and adulation about Sid still got it. We never really look at Gino as still being one of the best point-producing centers in this league, and he is. And Kopitar, again, you know, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
First of all, how dare you call our producers Brian and Justin old? That's just absolutely rude. One stat that I thought was really cool. As we record this, Malkin is at 499 career goals. So assuming he gets to 500, which could very well be next game, he and Sid will be the only teammates in NHL history to ever respectively score 500 goals with the same franchise as teammates.
Wow.
Gretzky and Curry did it together, but across the Oilers and the Kings. So Malkin and Crosby are set to make history.
That's incredible. Congratulations to the Penguins for foolishly trying to prop over their contention window long enough to allow two guys to score 500 goals on the same team.
History matters, Wish. Okay, and they have cups. It's fine. Goaltenders, they're sucking?
So far, league save percentage through the first 40 games has been 900. It had been under 900 for a little bit. Yeah. League save percentage has declined for 9 straight seasons. It will probably do so again this season. For what it's worth, Arda, the last time we had a season where the save percentage was under 900 was 95-96, which is kind of a weird year. It's sort of the beginning of the trap era, but also a little bit of the remnants of the high scoring era. So something to watch. Scoring overall on a per game, per team basis isn't up, but the save percentage is down once again and probably will continue to do so. And it's been a real struggle, I think, for a lot of us who, pay attention to the stats and the numbers and such, because it's kind of like, how somebody makes $8 million against the cap, and then 4 years later, it's like, that's a bargain. It's like if somebody has a 905 save percentage, you're just like, that guy sucks. But now, within context, he's better than average.
But it's going to take a while for hockey fans to realize that, I think, unless they heard this and internalize it and change their paradigm.
Well, that's why
because you see a 905 and you're just like, no, this is...
That's why everyone should listen to The Drop.
Yeah,
exactly. We contextualize hockey for you.
That's correct. That's exactly what we do on this show and nothing else. Speaking of brutal honesty... there's been some of that. And I actually find it very refreshing when superstars in the league are like, hey, yo, this is on me.
Cale Makar, after the Avalanche started 0-3, they lost to the Islanders, and former coach Patrick Waugh deserves...
Why'd you say it like that?
Because I was very excited to see...
Patrick Waugh.
I got to be honest with you. I completely forgot that this was Patrick Waugh's first visit to Colorado after... basically quitting on the team before the season a few years back. And I saw there was an AP story. I'm like, oh, wow, right. That's right. He hasn't been back yet. That's kind of crazy. Cale Makar deserves props for taking the heat. He said his own play was not satisfactory to the point where he said, quote, "It's definitely a lot closer game if I don't play tonight." You know what that said to me, Arda? It said that the Nathan MacKinnon school of leadership has rubbed off on his teammates. Like, you could hear MacKinnon saying something along those lines, like, I've got to be better. Take me out of the lineup, and it probably would have been a better game for my team. Cale Makar was one criticism of somebody eating a Snickers away from sounding exactly like Nathan MacKinnon, and I think it's a beautiful thing to see a young, talented, superstar player grow as a leader before our eyes. By the way, he had like 4 points in his first 2 games. He's probably not the problem, but... even still, not the best start for the Avalanche, and it's a team that, again, I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. I had a hard time placing them in the standings because they are missing a few key players that they expect back at some point in the next couple of months. I didn't really trust the Gold. They're a weird team, and I think this start is indicative of that weirdness.
That's central, right? Dallas, Nashville, Colorado. Nashville not the best start. Colorado not the best start. Dallas riding high.
Yeah, and Winnipeg trying to prove me wrong. Yeah, Winnipeg is out of the gate real high.
I was just going to say, Cale Makar, imagine he had said that while eating a Kit Kat, Slurpee in hand. he drank his Slurpee out of the Stanley Cup.
He did.
That's that guy.
Which is amazing.
The last thing, winner, of course, we're going to be thinking about the Goudreau family all season. I thought it was very classy of the Blue Jackets. The Flyers did this before, like Torts called Guy Goudreau, the father, said, hey, come and coach some games or practices with me. Very, very classy move. But also the Blue Jackets inviting him to come with practice. But I love the MVP of the game trophy that the Blue Jackets have.
Every other team in the league is a loser because your trinkets will not be as good as this. It is the Blue Jackets donkey hat, our final winner here. It is literally a donkey hat. You put it on your head and you have the little donkey on your head. It's handed out to their player of the game. It is got a number 13 patch on the side. It is in honor of the late Johnny Gaudreau, who used to like to call people donkeys, which is a beautiful thing to say. The first guy to wear it, Sean Monahan, in a very touching moment, I think, given his history with Johnny Gaudreau. Again, a beautiful, as all of the tributes have been, a beautiful tribute to Johnny Gaudreau, and one that will definitely, get a little misty probably looking at when somebody does something spectacular for the Blue Jackets this year and gets a trinket in honor of their late star.
That's a great point. Around the league, the tributes have been very meaningful and very beautiful. It was really cool seeing Cole Caulfield score his first goal with wearing number 13. Always thinking about the Gaudreau family, the hockey world throughout the season, and it's really cool to see the donkey hat be the MVP trinket, the trophy for the Blue Jackets this season.